Hi, it's Bridgette. Welcome to Above Life channel. Today we have a very serious and important topic to discuss. But as always, the purpose here is to inspire your spirit and to fill you up with hope. Today I'd like to talk about suicide from the afterlife perspective. Unfortunately, recently we've had two very public suicides, people who are in their 50s and their 60s. And in our personal lives, I'm sure, unfortunately, many have been touched by this very intense, tragic energy of suicide. In fact, just last week in my daughter's high school, the week before graduation, one of the members of her junior class committed suicide. So it's really something that's really affecting many people. And I think it's important for us to consider what does the spirit think about this? The person who makes the decision to leave their human body and become full spirit, the person who chooses to end their own life. There are so many aspects to this topic, and I want to be sensitive and caring to those who have been personally impacted by this tragic energy. Therefore, I will not be discussing or channeling individuals who have recently crossed, who are in the public eye, because I want to respect the energy of the transition time and the graceful energy of the grief process for their family. And I say graceful because there really is an energy that is healing, that is completely surrounding the families of those who have decided to leave the earth. All right. So what does the soul think? Well, you guys, I have been channeling and working as a medium for almost 14 years now, and I can tell you this, that I have not spoken to one afterlife spirit that has not expressed the energy of, well, yeah, that didn't go as planned, or, yeah, that wasn't such a good choice, because the regret or the remorse energy of taking their own life, it's not about their own life that they have the regret or the remorse energy. It's about the intensity of the tsunami of grief that taking your own life, if you are in so much pain and as a spirit, as a person, and in the afterlife, the spirit expresses being in so much pain and having so much struggle, as soon as they step into the afterlife, they immediately recognize, whoa, how an incredible tsunami of incredible pain that is released upon the family. Now, this video isn't to guilt you if you're contemplating suicide. However, let's be real. In the afterlife, the spirit who makes the decision as a human has a very different view as a spirit. So I just want you to really be clear on that. So as a spirit, your soul has a different view and perspective on that choice. And I'm going to call suicide a choice because it is a choice that the human makes, the person makes, and they take accountability. And in the afterlife, when I connect with individuals who committed suicide, they completely step up and they take accountability because they feel the levity of the grief, the tsunami of grief that they unleash. And it's intense for family and friends, and it can be shocking, or it can be not unexpected because of other things in their behavior, mental illness that they're dealing with, and life struggles and challenges, and just stressors can be too much. Life can be so overwhelming and burdening, and it can be so intense. And so from the perspective of the relatives looking at the spirit who made the choice to commit suicide, there is kind of this compassion toward the spirit. But at the same time, the spirit in the afterlife has an incredible amount of compassion for the humans, the humanity of the relationships of the people they left behind, because that's their pain. Basically, the spirit in the afterlife basically looks and goes, oh my gosh, I just transferred my pain. I got out of it, but I left everybody else in the boat to drown in the incredibleness of the pain. So suicide is a very serious issue, a very serious topic, and it's something that I have opinions about as someone who talks with the afterlife and views on that, and compassion and understanding as to why a human would want to escape. This is not a place to judge or to evaluate or to project my own opinions about that. And yet I also want to be real clear and clear up the whole religious aspect of it, or the belief system, value system aspect of it, or the spirituality of it. So all those areas, cut across all those areas. Let's clear some things up about that. Let's talk about that specifically. For many people, there's belief systems in place that if you commit suicide, if you make the choice to kill your body, and if you do that, then you are sentenced to hell or condemned, or your spirit roams the earth and is in just tortured pain because you can't do that because life is a miracle and you just took your life. So now you have to be punished. Well, all right. So I'm being a little passive aggressive in that comment. I will give you, I have to admit, remember, I'm a person, so I do have bias. I'm trying to keep my bias out of it, but there is no punishment in the afterlife. There's no punishment. It's self-inflicted. If it's a soul thing and they have like training or additional healing that they need to do, they will do that. They will receive that. They have the choice to receive that in the afterlife. And sometimes spirits don't choose to do that. They choose to stay in like this heavy energy, this heavy depression or sad energy, particularly if there's someone who was a horrible person, who created a lot of pain for other people, whether they were abusive or whether they actually took other people's lives, because I have had the opportunity to speak with people who have done that. And it's not a fun conversation to have, but they most certainly sometimes will choose to live as a spirit in an energy that is not super positive because they feel like they don't deserve it. But let me please, that is in unique situations, okay, with people who made really have horrible legacies, like people who murder people, people who hurt people badly, people who abuse people and children horrifically. Yeah, it's those souls that kind of choose that. But nobody, there's no God, there's no executioner, there's no punisher, there's no judge in heaven or in the afterlife that greets you and says, no, you can't come in here. But there's so much fear that that's what happens, but it does not happen. It doesn't happen. I have not 14 years of being a medium and channeling, and I've never, ever had a spirit that has said that that's what happened to them. Not once. I'm thinking the odds are pretty good that that doesn't happen. Now, do I know for sure? No, because I haven't died yet. But when we're in heaven afterlife area, you can look me up and have a chat with me if you disagree. And you can disagree. I understand. Sometimes we need to really hold on to things that are dear to us, like our faith or our religion. If religion provides comfort for you, go to that, pray. Whatever principles and values that help to give you peace and solace during a difficult time like this, managing through someone else's loss, grief, or suicide, do it. Turn to that, support that. But please do not worry. Don't worry that so-and-so is suffering and they can't get into heaven. They don't get the ticket because they killed themselves. There is not that. There is an incredible amount of forgiveness and compassion as soon as the spirit enters into afterlife domain. Please know that. And if you're at this point in the video, hopefully you don't hate me too much for my pure honesty. And if you do, well, I guess that's just too bad. This is just, I really felt like I needed to do a video to talk about this topic of suicide and from the afterlife perspective. Now, I have some probably edgy things that I would actually open up and share more on about that topic. But I think it's important right now, especially given the suicide rates for youth, and now we have adults in the public eye that are making the choice to leave their bodies by their own hands, and it's really publicized and it's kind of idolized, like, oh, look at how great this person was, oh, it's so sad, so everybody, let's just recognize that person and give all this attention to how they died. And the truth is the pain part, the mental illness, the depression, the stress, the overwhelm, the incredible anxiety or intensity of emotions that they have been struggling with or feeling that push them, or addiction, drugs or alcohol or painkillers or whatever, push them into that place, abuse, push them into that place to make that choice. Those are the issues we've got to be focused on, because that's how you help to prevent this from happening again. That is how we become a humanity, a society that is connected through kindness and compassion and forgiveness before death, not after. It happens now. It happens now, here and now. This is Bridgette at Above Life Channel. I hope that this particular video has given you some peace, some comfort, and I hope that it's inspired your spirit to recognize that in the afterlife, there really is still such an incredible amount of love and compassion and connection that exists for all of us as spirit to spirit. Remember, it's your life, so live it. Live it. Live it. And if you need help, if you're struggling with challenges and overwhelm, find some positive inputs. There are so many resources available to you. There are 1-800 number hotlines that you can contact, that you can be anonymous and just talk to somebody about the way you're feeling about things. There's a lot of stigma around mental health, but it is reality, people. We need to be healthy. Our mind deserves to be healthy. Maybe we should call it mind health. Maybe we should call it emotional health. Maybe we should call it soul health, because it's part of all of who we are. And sometimes we go through stints or stretches of life that are just difficult, unbearable. And that's when we need to reach out to friends, to family, to counselors. A lot of programs are offered through employers that are called employee assistance programs, and they're free for a couple of sessions for free. Sometimes they're over the phone, sometimes they're in person. Explore your options. And again, they are anonymous. So if that's important to you, that is taken care of as well. Please seek out one another. Please reach out to one another. Please, please do that. This is Bridgette with the Above Life Channel. Thank you for being here.